Welcome to the DGTL Growth Podcast, where marketing leaders turn playbooks into pipeline. I'm Suze Barnes. Today, we are diving into how to go from SDR to CEO with Lyndsey Maddox, CEO at Digital Third Coast. If you're serious about scaling smarter, DM me the word growth, and I'll share the key takeaways. Lyndsey, great to have you.
It's such a pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me, Suze.
Yeah, so tell us a bit about your journey at Digital Third Coast and your vision as CEO.
Yeah, absolutely. Many, many moons ago, I was a young sales rep that was smiling and dialing and heard about SEO and thought, wouldn't it be remarkable if the phone rang the other way? And so I found people who knew how to do that. George Latin and Taylor Samala are the founders of Digital Third Coast. In 2012, I joined them as their director of business development. And so they taught me everything they knew about SEO and the internet, and I taught them everything I knew about sales and client communications. And here we are almost 14 years later.
Wow.
About 2.5 years ago, I stepped into the CEO role. Vision, great question. We have a really solid group of people here and a very well-established organization and history that George and Taylor built. So my vision is not real far off where they started. The mission statement of the business from day one is make a measurable difference. That's the hill I'll die on. My personal vision is to bring joy into marketing activity. It's marketing. It should be fun. I think sometimes we get a little caught up in the chaos that we think we're neurosurgeons. We're not. We should be having fun with this. There should be joy in it, but it should also be very full of activity. It's not hanging out or doing stuff. It is productivity. It is working hard. It is having fun. It's enjoying the work.
I love it. I'm having a lot of fun doing these podcasts. There's definitely a lot of joy there. So I appreciate you saying that. And I do think often we miss the joy.
Yeah.
And as soon as we have that experience, it starts to feel like a bit of a grind. And I think the joy is super important. So yeah, thank you for that. The measurable, say that again, the measurable piece.
Measurable difference.
Make a measurable difference. That's huge.
Yeah,
huge.
It's everything. It's everything that we do, right? I mean, SEO has changed a lot in the last couple of decades. Paid media, especially Google ads and meta ads, have changed a lot in the last couple of decades. We can make sure that the tactics are being tracked to actual measurement, mostly in terms of revenue growth. Then we know which tactics are good and which tactics are not.
Absolutely. Tell us a bit more about Digital Third Coast for any of the listeners that maybe don't know what the company does. You mentioned SEO, and I know you're also in paid media.
Yes.
So tell us a bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, George and Taylor, our co-founders, both have a background in SEO. So the agency was really founded with a focus on organic search. Their first hire to the team is our director of paid media, Nathan Maddox. So Nathan's been running Google ads as long as you can have run Google ads. And obviously both those teams have grown over the last 18 years. There are 19 of us on the team today. Everyone with a pretty unique area of specialization. So within the paid media umbrella that Nathan manages, beyond Google ads, the full suite of Google products, shopping, remarketing, display, YouTube, Bing ads, and then paid social, most heavily with Meta and LinkedIn. The SEO side, what used to be a bunch of tech guys doing tech things, has become a cross between really analytical and technical work and really creative brand promotion PR work. And now is moving into GEO. That's the acronym we settled on. You get called AEO or GEO or AISEO.
LLMs.
I have an agency friend who's told me he's sticking with EIEIO. So you pick, but all about visibility and traffic and leads. And ultimately, if it can lead to revenue, I'm interested, right?
Yes.
That's the measurement for me. So
I'm going to have to steal that AIEO thing. That's so cute. Are there any strategic changes or innovations you're leading right now or seeing as trends in the search and paid media space?
Yeah, great question. And not that I am personally leading, because I largely get out of my team's way. They are much smarter than I am. That said, we are absolutely doing a lot of testing with in-feed targeting. We're changing how we're doing our split testing within these ads platforms because we have to. We're doing a lot more exploration into what's driving the visibility in LLMs. So when we talk about ChatGPT or Perplexity, there's a lot of unknowns and there's still a lot of fluctuation and volatility. But it's our job as an agency to study that and be ahead of it and communicate what's working and what's not working to our clients. So that's definitely a big push. And then just in AI in general, since we have all these tools, we're having a really good time building out little agents. I call them they're like hungry little interns who work while I'm sleeping.
Oh, I love it. Are you playing with and tools like that? Or
I have some members of my team who are. I am not
yeah.
personally.
Okay.
I am working very much in ChatGPT and Gemini as my two kind of like main sources, but I have a self-proclaimed mad scientist here on the team, Tate Handy, who is definitely in there and exploring and finding some pretty cool outcomes.
Awesome. Wow. So those are probably some of the innovations. I have a question. What innovations are on the horizon for DTC?
That's a great question. I try not to predict the future because I'm just so often wrong. However, I will say I keep being asked if SEO is dead yet, which I've been asked like pretty much twice a year since I joined this industry. And I will say no. SEO will die when we stop using search engines, which to my knowledge has not happened yet. Or it's just me. I'm still doing it. So
I agree.
that is something that I think is going to stay consistent. I think we are going to see an output of our work amplify because of AI. So we bill based on hours at Digital Third Coast, and that hour is becoming more valuable literally every day right now as we find new tools and new techniques to expedite either research or data analysis or gap identification, right? If it took us 10 hours and we can now do it in 45 minutes, that hour has become that much more valuable to our clients. So that's a big shift. And what I'm really excited about because budget is always the limitation. If we have something that's making budget go further and faster, that's a win for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So how has AI impacted your business growth?
Our growth specifically, we are getting some leads from, most specifically from ChatGPT and Perplexity. I don't know why I don't see them from others, but those are the two that we're getting. So we're definitely seeing some lead growth there. I am using it for like a little bit of preliminary research from a sales perspective too, a little bit of like competitive analysis. I, like most people, don't totally trust it yet. So I am like letting it do a lot of legwork and then I'm still spending a decent amount of time like validating what it's saying,
Smart.
or invalidating what it's saying, as the case may be. But I'm definitely like curious and intrigued. And I think we're just having a lot of fun exploring it right now. Trying to figure out how to best use it without abusing it. And that's that I expect to continue to refine over time. I think that's going to be like SEO, an ongoing exercise in tests, analyze results, change approach, forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you? What are you doing, Suze?
I'm doing a lot of different things. Mm, Playing around a little bit with N8N for sure. AI acquisition. A/B testing, headlines, all of that stuff. I do some paid media as well, and actually have been in the Google space for longer than anybody, I think, as well. So I'd be interested in talking to your guy there.
Yes.
I started working with Google before Google was even
Amazing.
invented.
Amazing.
but
Amazing. What
but
what
yeah,
is the biggest loss for you? I feel like Nathan would say exact match.
I don't know. I mean, I think in paid media, it's sort of easier to see. It's a very different game now with machine learning and all of the optimizations. So I don't know. And SEO has always been fun. It's people think it's very sort of dark arts, but it's actually not really that.
No dark arts here. No,
it's a bit of an art and a science at
yes,
the same
art and
time.
science for sure. Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely wanted to make a difference, right?
Yes.
Let's go into the more into the sales to CEO. So is that a common trajectory for people? I feel like maybe it isn't. Okay.
I don't know. I think that there are probably like, I am sure there are examples of folks who are revenue drivers that go into leadership roles,
Yeah.
whether it's CEO or not. I don't know. I think for me, it was partially related to the sales efforts because I was never the like type of salesperson who was just going to like bring in a client and hope the team made it work on the back end, right? I don't overpromise on the front end because if my team is mad, then they tell me I'm mad about this. And then the client's mad and they tell me I'm mad about this. And then I just have a lot of people complaining. And
Mhm.
that's not the joy, right? That I'm seeking in marketing activities. So
There you go.
I care deeply about right fit clients. I care deeply about clients that my team will be excited to work on. When they're excited to work with that client and the client's excited to work with them, that is where like real magic happens and real growth happens. And then we get to do it together forever. Right. So as I like focus not just on sales for sales sake, but for actually getting good work and good results, I began working more closely with the, actual experts here on my team in SEO and paid media to talk about client communication and client management, things that I had some experience in from my old life. And I guess I just fell in love with this business. We have like this outstanding group of human beings that is our team. And we've been very, very lucky to work with outstanding human beings as our partners and clients. The culture of the agency is always something that's meant a lot to me. Again, to say something like bring joy into marketing activity, that doesn't mean 80 hours of work, that nobody thinks that's joy, right? Having like good work life balance and having some cool culture initiatives was something that I really wanted in here. And George and Taylor both had built like a solid enough foundation that I could come in here and really like make it a great place to work and a great place to be a client and a great like thing to be a part of. And I think at some point we were like, I think she might not be the director of business development anymore. And when we were looking at like we had to like create an org chart and like so many small businesses, it looked a little more like a web than a chart. We were like, okay, like maybe we need to actually make a real one now, And that's when we determined that I was going to sit in this seat.
It's a great story.
It's been my great honor and my great pleasure to do it. It's a very cool group. I'm lucky to sit nearby.
Yeah, I mean, I think the power of the relationship sounds like you have a lot of great relationships with, your team, C-suite now,
Yeah.
and also your clients, which makes a huge difference, right? It's all about the relationships.
And that is maybe my favorite thing about AI and how many robots there are in the world is we're all actually seeking human interaction more now than I think we did historically. And I think that's good news for humanity. So I'm in.
Absolutely. I like to talk about AI and HI, right? And you said human interaction. It's also human intelligence, human
Ah,
input,
yes,
very, very much needed simultaneously with all of the AI advancements.
agreed. Absolutely. Yes.
So I teach some classes at University of San Francisco, and this is a question more for my college students. What advice would you give college grads in marketing and advertising and about the job market or finding work in today's climate?
That's such a good question. Today's climate is so challenging in so many directions. It feels like it might be different by the time we air this than it is today because everything feels a little in flux and volatile to me.
Hmm.
Here's what like I know. Find something you can really love and go aggressively after it, right? To walk in and say, I have my degree in marketing. I'd like to do some marketing. I don't care where. Is to say it's never going to be great. And they're also probably not going to hire you right? Because they want someone who's excited about their thing, whatever that thing is. So, whether it's digital marketing or phones or pencils, I'm just naming things nearby me now, making sure that you can find excitement or like strong connection to that thing. I think when we market or sell things we don't really believe in, it feels icky. It throws our like values out of alignment, right? Like in an internal way. And we get all of these people who hate their jobs, which is not good for anybody or anything, right? So if you have the opportunity to find something, it doesn't have to be the dream, right? We can't all work in sports and entertainment and, the dream categories, but something that you can care deeply about and actually want to succeed and win for what it is.
Yeah, it's super great advice. Do what you love, the money will follow. It comes to mind. But it's, yeah, but it is so easy to, just take whatever's there. So really, focusing on, is this something I'm really going to enjoy? And there's your joy again comes into it, right?
Yeah, and there's space for that, right? I'm not so like idealistic or naive to believe that everybody gets to have a dream job, especially your first one out of college. Mine wasn't, and there is like a paying your dues, perhaps, but like even if you take a job, don't stop looking for the thing that's going to mean something to you, right? We all have to
Absolutely.
sometimes do work to pay bills,
Yeah,
but don't
for sure.
make that be your life.
Hmm. Yeah. What sort of a similar question? What would you be looking for in a new hire, in your next hire?
Yeah, great question. We are hiring a content strategist right now. And that background is content heavy. So they have some level of content experience. Content is like a big word though, right? So it can come in a variety of formats. I am looking for someone who wants to work remote because we're remote. I'm in an office today, but our team is across the country right now. And someone who can like work with a lot of autonomy and doesn't require micromanagement then is kind of a necessity for that. And someone who also can jump in and be collaborative and work with, everyone else on this team and learn from each other. So that's that role. The next thing that I'm going to look for, I think, is going to be in like an internal marketing / sales role, someone that I could really get one-on-one with and spend a lot of time together building up our own business. So that's what I'll be looking for next.
Interesting. On the content marketer, content strategy, had somebody tell me once that there isn't SEO, that's all content marketing. what do you what do you say to that?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah.
All marketing is content marketing, right?
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
we keep making up names and then LinkedIn loves like a hot take, right? So then we keep saying like that one's dead and long live and this one's the king and that one's the queen and all these like really like archaic, weird statements because LinkedIn loves black and white, right? It doesn't want to live in the gray, which is what I would consider reality. Yeah, everything is content marketing. So you could absolutely call it that. We call it SEO because we are measuring metrics that are very true to SEO, right? Rankings, traffic. With GEO, we are measuring visibility, impressions, citations, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I think for us, the names align more with what we're measuring than what we're doing. Because certainly, like what we're doing for digital PR, you could call that PR, you could call that content marketing.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think
I mean,
it's an SEO strategy. If you're growing and everyone's making money, I don't think anyone cares what we call it.
I agree. I mean, I think, you've heard of maybe search everywhere optimization, which is basically content marketing.
Huh,
I mean, SEO is, you're producing content to be available and visible in various different places. And
right.
so, I think, yeah, it's the age old argument. But
Yes.
anyway, that's just me. In your business right now, what's working well for you? And what would you say is frustrating, perhaps?
Mm, that's a great question. The first one is very easy. My team works very well. That's like it's like not an interesting answer, but I am very fortunate for the group of people I work with. not just who they are as individuals, but how they work together, because no one person, I think, can keep up with all of the stuff. Like a lot of shared learnings. We can't read everything, right? That's one of the problems with content marketing. We keep making more, but consuming the same amount, you know? So the shared learnings, the way we collaborate, the way we support each other, I think is absolutely the best thing about this business. What's not working? Um, I think that the evolution of our recording will always be in place. Right now, we're absolutely struggling with attribution. It's very murky. I don't think last touch is the right answer. I don't think first touch is the right answer. I think that looking at the full picture is becoming so complicated that it is harder to track an activity to a result. And we're looking at activities and results. And so, like, true testing or true optimization of a single tactic is almost impossible. So yeah, I think that like the attribution side is, I don't think that's going to get easier. It's a challenge today, and I think it's gotten harder every year. I said something about exact match, about how much data we used to get, even in analytics, let alone ads, and how little data we get now. I think that will be the continued challenge going forward, is how do we make sense of the activity to the results when we can't break it down in that one-to-one ratio?
Yeah, I mean, clients always want to think of it like the slot machine where you put money in and you get money out, right?
Yeah.
And it's not quite as simple as that
Well, I
often,
mean, sure, but like, yeah, the slot machine hits like one every like 1,000 times. So my
Yeah.
math is better than that one.
Yeah, I guess that's a good way to look at it.
But yes, it would be so good if it was like you know, I put in 5 and I get 10. That would be
Yeah.
excellent. I would,
Yeah.
you know, I would be on an island though.
Yeah, it's so much more complicated because it's not even one to one. It's sort of the delay factor
Yes,
and the combination of channels that you're using to
for
get the
sure.
results and how long you can wait to see it all working together, that kind of thing. So
100%.
yeah, definitely something everybody's looking at, I'm sure.
Yes, hopefully. Yeah, we should be.
What metrics are you most focused on improving?
Yeah, with the clients that we're closest with, profit.
Hmm.
With the clients that are able to share like a feedback loop, revenue. And then from there, it gets murky, right? So if we can't get to revenue or profit, we're looking at leads and like hopefully at least getting some feedback on quality of leads. Beyond that, before leads, there's a number of different engagement metrics depending on the client, right? That might be like reading their content, downloading their content, signing up their newsletter, right? Like different on-site actions. And of course, before they get to the site, we're tracking rankings and impressions and citations. We definitely look at links and brand mentions. We build those. So we are always looking to grow that number. Look at things like DA and DR. I don't put a ton of stock, but I'm definitely doing like competitive analysis with those still, just to make sure I know kind of where we are from a benchmarking perspective. So I think those are kind of the key metrics. And then each client kind of has a unique need around like how we calculate like ROAS or cost per lead or cost per acquisition, to make sure that like basically dollars in versus dollars out tells the story that they want to share with their team.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm so impressed by how much you know about the industry as it's a non-practitioner. You speak like somebody who's been in the trenches and works on it day to day.
Sit very close to them. I gotta credit my team on that. I really do. I definitely try to stay up to date. I find that to be an impossible task,
Hmm.
but to sit in meetings with them, to work alongside them, to hear about um, what we used to do that we can't do anymore, or what's changed here, or how we're tracking data. I think those are all things that when you can be in a room full of people who are all smarter than you, that's another piece of advice for your students. Like, get in that room. Being the
Yes,
smartest person in the room is the worst room you can be in. Go be in a room full of people who are way smarter than you. You get so much good stuff in there.
Yeah, and it's fun too.
Yeah.
Especially I know you talk about this on your website, especially if you enjoy learning. I think it's really key,
Yes,
you know, in that aspect. Yeah.
absolutely.
Uh, um, let's see. Where do you want to be in 6 to 12 months?
6 to 12 months. Okay, I'd like to be on vacation, but that's not the question. I would like to have a better sense of how we're going to measure impact around the generative channels. I think that like, the fluctuations and the volatility there is a bit unnerving for me. I want to make sure that we're quantifying it in revenue and not just vanity metrics. That's not to say that vanity metrics don't matter. Like vanity sounds like a bad word, but like looking good is a big part of marketing. It's like, right, showing up at all and then showing up in a positive way, you know?
I love it. That sort of flipped the script for me a little bit because I've always heard, it's always been vanity metrics, But it's true. I mean, everybody is looking at how do you look, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
yeah.
it's all part of it. So, yeah, I would love to get we've rolled out like an audit and a competitive analysis for LLMs, and then we've added some reporting. I just want to continue to refine that. I think that's a good goal for 6 to 12 months. I'd like to grow the business, not substantially. We're kind of a like slow and steady type growth. So I'd like to add 3 or 4 team members and some new clients along the way over the next year. I'd love to be able to stand here and tell you that we extended make a measurable difference, not just to our clients, but also to our individual team members, that their like lives are better because they work here. I don't know exactly how you measure that. But from the client side, we've got like a really good measurement there. I want to make sure that that's happening for like the humans who are making it happen as well. So I'd love to be able to say that a year from now. Yeah, I hope a year from now I still believe that there's joy in marketing activity.
I hope so too. It sounds like sounds like there will be based on what I hear from your attitude and energy. You mentioned some clients. Who would be a dream client?
Such a good question. I have a couple of dream clients right now who I adore. So, like, one of our clients has been with us for longer than I have. They've been with us for 16 years. They're people who do great work. They are very good to their customers and their clients. They're very collaborative with us, and we can just grow and grow and grow. So when I think about them, I guess that's kind of an ideal one for me, right? Someone who's got a good business, they're taking care of their people, their product or service like makes sense and they can make money doing it, but like also their clients love it and value it and they're ready to scale, right? Ready to grow, ready to get more in. I think everybody like is ready for growth, but when it comes to like really scaling and then hiring or building new facilities, sometimes we run into walls. So yeah, somebody who's ready for growth but already has something really cool built.
Nice. Any predictions for what 2026 will look like for search and paid media?
For search and pay, yeah, let's limit to search and paid media. I mean, it's all the writing's on the wall. We're losing more and more data every day. We're going to have less data. We're going to have to make bigger and better decisions with less information. I find that a little scary. We are, yeah, I mean, we have to be visible everywhere or it's not a choice anymore. Really, like if we're going to do something, you kind of you better be doing it already. Yeah, I think the big thing is the continued loss of data to back up decisions. There's going to be a lot of gut decisions based on trends, which I think is a totally reasonable way to do it given the lack of data. But we're going to have to be bold in our recommendations about what to do next because we will not be able to prove it. Any, yeah.
Do you listen to podcasts at all? Are you a podcast listener?
Some, yeah. I listen to podcasts, and then sometimes I try to listen to podcasts and get distracted doing something else. But yeah,
Do you have a favorite?
I was just listening to Drew McClellan from AMI, and I always enjoy listening to Drew.
Okay.
He's very, very good, straightforward guy. My former coach, so this is totally biased, is Brad Ferris, and he's doing a podcast called Working Broken with a friend of his named Nick. And they're talking about all the things like, is this thing broken or not? Is this working or is this not working? Which I think is great. I will follow Matt Corneliuson of Fungi Media anywhere. He does great interviews and is just a pleasure to be around. I listen to Andy Crestodina as often as I can. I'm hoping to see him in about an hour.
Nice.
Get to pick his brain in person today, but I always enjoy hearing him talk and hearing what he has to say. So those are a few of my favorites.
Cool. I'll have to check them out. I can't say I've listened to any of them.
Oh,
Yeah, that'd be great. We can share it in the show notes. There's so many, so many out there that's spoiled for choice.
Yes, we sure are.
Well, Lyndsey, thank you so much for sharing your insights and a little bit more about your business and your journey. Grateful to have had the time and experience some of your joy. How can people get a hold of you?
Yes, through the website, digitalthirdcoast.com, or email me, lmaddox@digitalthirdcoast.net. If you are a human, I will respond.
Great. Well, thanks so much again.
It's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.